What's up, everybody? Happy day after the Super Bowl. John Marks here on YouTube, X, Instagram Live, joined by Harry Mayes right from the start. Big Harry.
What's going on, Johnny? I'm here to announce to everybody that I made it to the end of the Super Bowl, okay? And I even stayed awake for the post-game breakdown. I was flipping around trying to find some post-game because I wanted to see, what Kyle Shanahan had to say for himself. Wow. And I actually stayed up for an extra half hour doing that. So good night out of me.
That's amazing. And that's without drugs or chemicals or
no drugs.
No,
the drugs I take is alcohol, which makes you fall asleep.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I was wondering if you needed something to combat that.
I don't do that stuff anymore. Those
No?
days are over.
Well, I didn't know if it was because I drink the energy drinks or coffee.
Yeah.
And the energy drinks don't even work on me anymore.
No,
because because I've been doing this a lot at 9 o'clock at night, and by 9 o'clock at night, I'm like you, Harry. I'm up early.
Right.
Like, normally, we're the ones that are texting early in the morning,
Right.
6 o'clock, which means I go to sleep early too, as do you.
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to do the show every night at 9 o'clock, I have to drink a cup of coffee normally between 8 and 9, sometimes even during 9 o'clock. Then I'm up for 3-4 hours.
Right.
Because the coffee works.
Right.
If you do the energy drinks, they don't even work on me anymore.
They don't?
I go right to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
I
don't drink those, but
oh, they're terrible for you.
yeah, they are. It's like battery acid.
Well,
And it looks like battery acid.
They taste delicious. Jason Myrtetus joins us here. Harry and Jason of the All G's podcast.
He's a 5-hour energy guy, this dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Extra strength.
Yeah.
Why?
So do you only give 110% as opposed to 100%, Jason?
Never. I'm a consistent 82.3% guy. Never give it your all because it's all you've got.
Yeah.
This is Jody Mack. Give it your all because it's all
He's
you've
still
That's
worn
all
out
you've
from our
got.
podcast on Friday. He left it all on the ice.
You did? I thought you meant Jody Mack was on your podcast on Friday.
Oh, no. Jason and I did one, and he admitted that he brought nothing to the table.
Harry was on his game. He was up on his skates, Johnny Marks.
Can you guys
Took his first shift and earned his second.
This is going to be weird. Can you guys talk for a second? Because I forgot I don't have the baby monitor. She just went down for a nap. You guys
right.
talk for a second. This is odd, being that it's my podcast. All right.
It is. Did
That
you
is
watch
an odd-
the whole game?
This is odd G's all over now. Johnny Marks, I forgot the baby monitor.
We're
I
doing-
hate to do it to you, man.
We're doing overtime. Did you watch the whole game?
Super Bowl?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I had a hard time staying awake in that first half hour.
Well, it's funny because the first half, I didn't see any of the first quarter
What?
because I'm watching the golf. The golf went into overtime. They had a playoff. And so I'm watching
this
that.
golf.
Yeah, I'm watching that because I got bets going. And I'm checking the score of the Super Bowl. I'm saying, man, nothing's happening. I'm not missing anything. It's nothing. And I had the under, so I was glad about that.
Yeah.
And I finally tuned in the second quarter and saw the touchdown. Immediately when I tuned in, I see the Jennings touchdown pass. So I didn't miss squat.
You missed some good defense and great Spags.
Yeah, he was great.
He was.
Again.
Yep.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
you look at that
Give it to 'em.
defense, and they have so much talent in that secondary.
Oh,
Man, and they're all young players, too. I mean,
Snead
really,
and McDuffie are the best in the league.
man.
Yeah.
And McDuffie was a first-round pick, but anybody could have had him. I know the
Right.
Patriots passed on McDuffie for, I forget who they drafted, but yeah.
Not O.J. McDuffie.
Not O.J.
That's a
McDuffie.
Penn Stater.
And not
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, so let's start with the Super Bowl. I mean, there's so many different things that just jump out to you. Were you guys like me? I didn't know of this change in the rules in overtime for the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I thought at the end of, and they kind of explained it during when they were doing the coin flip, like Romo kind of explained it. I'm like, oh, all right. I didn't realize that there was that change. So there's like 10 seconds left in the game, and I'm thinking, what the hell are they doing? And Romo's like, this is just be the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Like, it's not
For
going
you
to
to
be
roll on.
right.
You might
So
as well
it
not
almost-
even keep a clock.
That's
the
what
point?
that's what I was saying. Just have it until it's over. I mean,
Yeah.
why would you keep it? It's sudden death. It's each team gets a possession, and then that's
Right.
that. So that surprised me. And then like I didn't think they were going to run a play because they didn't have to before the end of the quarter. And then they kind of like I don't know if they were surprised. I don't know if San Francisco was surprised about it.
Apparently, some of the players were not aware of the new rule.
I heard the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
well,
it was Kyle
Mahomes had to tell the
Shanahan.
guy that caught the touchdown that the game was over. He did not know.
yeah.
He did.
Yeah,
And
what was
me
this, Donovan McNabb?
sitting on the under 47.5 was damn glad that they didn't kick the extra point
Yeah,
because I
should
would
have
have
went for
lost.
2, Harry.
Yeah, exactly.
You snuck it in there. But so it changed everything from before in the overtime. You always want the ball first. Only was it Jim Schwartz that said that he didn't want
Detroit.
the ball, or was that another
Yeah.
bad? Yeah, it was Detroit.
When he was the head coach,
Yeah,
Right.
and the other team went right down the field and scored.
He
It was
won the
game
game.
over.
Right. So he takes it. So now you can see why you wouldn't want to take it first, because you kick a field goal. Now Kansas City knows what they have to do. They can't.
Yep.
They like, it was a 4th down, of course. So now they're planning every drive, knowing it's 4-down territory, pretty much wherever
Your
they
play
are.
calling
until they
totally
get a field goal.
changes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
yeah.
Totally changes.
And the minute San Francisco didn't get a touchdown, because they
Yeah.
looked like they were going to, and if you remember the first set of downs in that drive, the first down, they were pretty deep back. The first down was on a holding call, right?
Mhm.
So then they drive all the way down, and they're running McCaffrey. They're pretty much doing whatever the hell they want, and it feels like San Francisco's going to score a touchdown here, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. And Kansas City stops them, and when they held them to a field goal, did you guys feel the same thing? Which was, man, like this is
Kansas City's going to win the game.
Yeah,
Right.
this is
Absolutely.
Mahomes building on the legendary status and
Right.
another opportunity to prove you're one of the all-time greats. And like give him credit, the drive in the 4th quarter to get it tied, and then in the overtime, his heart rate wasn't over 60 beats per minute.
Yeah.
The dude was just directing things, but
Oh, yeah.
totally under control, no panic.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, he's great. He's
and
the
I think
best.
that has a huge element and kind of how everybody else reacts. If the best player's freaking out, everybody's freaking out.
It was Marty Morning.
Oh, Marty, yeah, that's right.
I knew it was an Eagle connection.
Yeah,
Marty Morningweg. Wow.
My head just
Wow.
my brain doesn't work as well as it used to.
Yeah.
So there was that to it. I mean, really, when you kind of look at the overall game, and I thought it'd be a game played in the 20s. I wasn't surprised because both of these teams have good defenses. Kansas City in particular with the defense, and their offense hasn't been great all year long, but they picked it up. They picked it up late. It's amazing that the Chiefs fall behind by double-digit points, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Even in
Kelsey,
the playoffs.
Kelsey is always open. He's always open, and he catches the ball. He had 9. I think he had 10 targets, 9 receptions, or 9
That's all in the
targets,
second
8
half, though.
receptions.
Yeah, he had
Most of
one,
it in the
didn't he have
second
one
half.
One in the
catch
first,
per
yeah.
yard,
Yeah,
and that was before he attacked Andy Reid. So he should have
Right.
attacked Andy Reid earlier,
right.
but he got more targets.
But yeah, I mean, the Niners were 3 of 12 on 3rd down. They couldn't handle Purdy couldn't handle the blitz.
Nope.
The McDuffie blitz on the 1 3rd down got him right in the face, and he threw it, in
That
the
was
dirt.
a huge play.
It was huge. Yeah, it was huge. And McDuffie came
Got him the
unblocked.
ball back.
He came unblocked. You got to credit Spags there because he actually sort of started to go back into coverage and then darted right
He
through the opening.
disguised it. It didn't look like he
Yeah.
was going to come because Romo was saying you have to anticipate the play call knowing they're going to send the house. And
Right.
then they disguised it great.
Yeah.
I remember from the Eagles-Kansas City game how well they blitzed from the secondary. Those guys obviously
and disguise it.
are very good at blitzing, and he's very good at disguising it. Because
Yep.
I remember McDuffie a couple of times because he always gets home.
Yeah.
Even if he's not getting a sack, he's affecting the throw or they're having to dump out early.
And then they blitzed him again on the 3rd and 4 from the Kansas City 9 in overtime, and he threw it into the end zone into
Yes.
into no man's land. So there, like, they ended up kicking the field goal. Okay, I'm like, you can't kick the field goal here. Like, to me, kicking a field goal is giving the game to Kansas City
I
with
disagree.
that quarterback. You do?
Yeah, I think you have to take the points because you can't leave Kansas City just the ability to kick
Needing
a field
a
goal in
field
the
goal.
Super
I-
Bowl.
Then I'm
Yeah.
running it on 3rd and 4th down with McCaffrey.
Well,
See
here's
my-
the
my-
thing, though.
I'm not
Like-
putting it in Purdy's hands because I know they're going to blitz him.
Yeah, but my defense has been good the whole game for the most part. Like, I gotta have some trust that they can at least hold them to a
That
field
all
goal.
changes
and we
in
live
these
to fight.
one score or one possession things. That all changes when they know they need a field goal.
Yep.
Now they look at it and say, all we got to do, especially with that kicker they have, all they
Yeah,
got to do is
kicker's
get to the
good.
40-yard line.
Oh, there were 2 bombs in the first half.
Oh yeah, he's good.
I mean, Jesus.
It was
He's good.
unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I
Commercials sucked, but yeah.
I don't remember one of them.
I remember the one where they were the 2 little kids were playing paddle ball or whatever the hell
There
that.
was Martin was. This was later on. Martin was who was he on the Martin Lawrence was on a commercial with some, but with
He's still alive,
with
Martin
Shannon
Lawrence?
Sharp.
Or was
Yeah.
it a hologram?
No, it was him. He looked like he might have been close to dead, but he took some type of, I don't know if it was a 5-hour energy or some type of a protein shake, and then he picked up the golf cart and threw it. So I don't I vaguely remember it. I
don't remember any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the
I remember the
halftime?
Michael Cera one, Sarah V commercial. That was stupid too.
I don't remember that.
Who?
There was a bunch of movie commercials.
Yeah.
And does anybody go to the movies anymore?
No.
Why would I sit at home on my 70-inch?
Speaking of that, I tried to watch the Barbie movie on demand for free.
Oh.
And I couldn't make it through 5 minutes.
Oh.
And when it was out, I was like, yeah, like, all right, like, embrace it. It's cool, whatever. It seems like the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. They're kind of making fun of themselves. I watched 5 minutes and I said to my wife, I said, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting the next 90 minutes of my life. I'd rather go to sleep.
Right.
So that's what I did. Horrible.
Well, Jesus apparently. Let's go to Jesus on line 2.
Well, Jesus was washing feet.
Jesus spent
What's that?
$7 million on a spot.
Was that a commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus spends money every year.
That must have
Early
been
though,
when I,
Harry.
that
Yeah, it
must have been
before
when
you
I
were
was
in.
watching the golf.
Yeah. You and
Yeah.
this golf. Oh, jeez.
Well, it was 0-0 after the first quarter, and I
Yeah.
know a lot of people that had the block pools were like, "Who's got
Oh,
zeros?"
yeah.
Right? Not
Double
me,
zero.
but it did. I mean, I was expecting it to open up a little bit in the second half, but also at the end of the first half, Kansas City goes down. They scored. They get a field goal, so they didn't get the touchdown. I actually was surprised. If you remember, there were 6 seconds left, and Andy didn't go for the touchdown.
I thought he
the
would.
point. Well, I would have. There were
Yeah.
6 seconds left. You have Pat Mahomes.
I think he had to get points there.
Well-
And he knew he was getting the ball back in the second half.
But to your point, he didn't get greedy.
No.
He said, "I'll take the 3 points." It was the right
Yep.
move to where someone like me would have gotten greedy and said, "No, there's enough time," because who knows what happens then.
Yeah.
You know, like there could be a sack, something could happen, and you get no points. But it felt like going into halftime that San Francisco didn't take advantage of the turnovers, of the fact that Kansas City only put up 3 points. It felt like this is going to come back to bite them, that they only put up 10 points. They should have. They had, that was their opportunity right there to win the Super Bowl.
They pretty much
dominated.
dominated the first half and yet
did.
only had a 10-3 lead. And you're like,
Yeah.
man, this
Not
is
enough to show for
not
it.
setting up well.
Yeah.
No. So
Yeah.
going into the half, and then you had the Usher halftime show, which was
That's still going on now?
well, Usher's back
So
in the
long.
roller skates. He's
I actually
rolling
thought it
around.
was pretty decent. And
I
I
thought it was
don't
awesome.
know squat about Usher except for the Lil Jon song that they did at the end. That's the only song that I knew that he was connected to. But wasn't he the guy that was responsible for discovering Justin Bieber?
Yeah, I
Didn't
think he
doesn't
was.
he get credit for that?
Yeah.
I think.
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
That's
sense.
how I know him. But then I recognized one of the other songs in the medley thing that they did. Like I'm like, I used to hear that song on the radio, but I thought it was pretty good.
He's
thought it was great.
45 years old.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I googled it too.
Yeah.
Pretty athletic. He moves around pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good performer.
Yeah.
You
And
knew
I
the
don't
shirt
know
was coming
anything.
off.
Is the roller skates part of his deal? Like normally, is that like a thing?
No,
Oh,
in fact, I couldn't believe when he came out in the roller skates. I'm like, oh my, like I wonder if he knew how to roller skate before this. And then he's dancing in the roller skates. And
Yeah.
it's like, all right, he must have worked for hundreds of hours on this routine to be able to dance in roller skates. Because I mean, I don't know if he knew how to roller skate or not, but I mean that takes some kind of skill. Forget about how good of a dancer he is. He's dancing on roller skates.
He should have been in some CCM tax inline skates, Harry. Some rollerblades.
Oh, yeah.
Rollers. 4 wheels.
Well, he might have been a hockey player. He
Yeah,
probably
maybe.
could do rollerblades.
Yeah.
No, Bieber's a hockey player. Maybe that's
Oh,
how they discussed. He was at a beer league game and found Bieber
Right.
is that right?
up there north of the border in the Great White North.
So would Usher be a slick skating wing?
Yeah,
Is that where he would play, like,
he's
a
pretty
right
long.
wing?
He could be a good. I could see him being a blue liner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
good
Paul
reach.
Coffey? Well, there you go. So
could you come up with any more colors that clash on this fucking screen, Johnny Marks?
Me?
Jesus Christ!
It's a clash. Well, I'm still working on the. You were generous enough to make a logo for me. My wife's working on an overlay, and I have nowhere to. I'm actually going to do it this week. If you saw my basement right now, to my left is a Lego table and a foosball table. To my right is 2 gymnastics mats and a gymnastics bar, and then you have 3 doll houses, the Barbie Dream House,
Oh.
It's,
Not the dollhouse.
No, not the
Three
dollhouse.
dollhouses. Okay.
No, not definitely not the dollhouse. I have nowhere to set up. That's why I have this gray wall right here.
Yeah, you have got to get some set design over there.
I mean, I do or I don't. I don't know. I'm working on it. I mean, I can see Harry's set, but I can also see his chair in the back.
His retractable's not big enough.
Yeah, it's not big enough. Either that or I just don't have the setup right with the camera.
Is it 8x8? Because I bought a structure that can go all the way to 10
less
by
than
10.
that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's less than that.
All right.
So
Well,
you
Jason
gotta
just
step
has
up
this
the
nice.
game.
Yeah. Well, dude,
that's not a virtual background,
dude. If you knew what was in here, and I look at that and how meticulous your setup is with guitars and like all this memorabilia stuff, I don't have shit. I don't have anything. Like seriously, all the years I worked in radio, I have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
At all. My wife didn't put stuff on walls. There'd be nothing in my house.
Jesus.
That's just
Furnitureless
the way my
house.
brain is. Yeah. I'd be like Joey and Chandler and Friends with the lawn chairs.
What are you, like a minimalist?
No,
I'd like to be a
incapable of
minimalist.
doing it. I mean, you should see my house, dude. It's like Toys R Us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Tripping over everything.
Oh my god, dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So anyway, Andy wins another Super Bowl. First of all, what'd you think of the Travis Kelce, where he charged Andy and ended up knocking him almost off his feet?
Was that was after the interception, wasn't it?
No, the fumble.
Oh, was it the
It was
fumble?
after the Pacheco fumble.
Oh,
He was
okay.
off the field for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was
Wow.
pissed. Now, I Googled it, and because I wanted to see, so I was at a party, and they were having technical problems. So I saw the beginning of the replay of him hitting Andy, but I saw like the first second. So then we missed it. So now I'm trying to Google it to see is it up there because I couldn't find it. And there was actually an incident in December where something similar happened where they had to address it and he had to apologize for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was doing the same thing. He was charging Andy. This was in December. So, like, this isn't the first time. It's actually happened a couple times. Here's what I'll say. They're lucky they won.
Yep.
Because
Agreed.
if they lost, like, dude, you can't fucking charge your coach and make contact with him like that.
I know.
Just knocked him over.
Boomer Esiason said that at halftime. Like,
Yeah,
you
and
can't
that's
be
not
hitting your
exactly like
coach.
hitting, a little guy.
Right.
Andy is big.
Yeah.
He's big and thick. That was a good open ice check.
But it doesn't seem like
I thought Andy was going in concussion protocol based on that hit.
It's going into the tent.
Yeah.
he was shocked. He was shocked. I didn't see any of the shows today because I don't watch those shows, the Skips and the Shannons and Stephen
I
A. or
didn't see any.
whatever. So I don't know if there's too much that happened with the Super Bowl to make a big deal about that.
Well, it's because they won.
lost.
It's you're
Yeah.
you're right. If they'd
Yeah.
lost, I think there would have been
It'd be
some
a huge
focus on
story.
it. Yeah.
Here's the thing is you cannot have highly emotional players that burn really hot like Travis Kelce. And those things are going to happen. That's just him being a competitor. You got to accept it. I think it went over the line because I think he hit him too hard. I mean, but you know how Andy is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like about him. He burns
Yeah.
hot.
He probably,
And then after the game, he compliments him for almost knocking him over.
Yeah. So, and it's because if they lose, it's a huge story. But
Right.
because they win the game and he does burn hot and he's a competitor, it's those things happen in sports. We don't see it a lot. There's 200 cameras on that game. That's why you see it. Probably happens more often. But those things happen. Like players turn around on benches and tell coaches to F off all the time.
Right.
Like they're all grown men. So you're not going to take a guy's shit and just take it sitting down sometimes. And sometimes there's arguments. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but
I don't either.
yeah,
But
I think
had
too
they
much
have
tomato.
lost, there would have been a lot of focus on it. There's no doubt.
But see, I do think it. I do think it's a big deal because we haven't seen before a player charging the head coach, especially an elderly head coach. And he's 65 years old.
Elderly.
Did Tom Brady go up and clothesline Bill Belichick at any point? Like, I
No,
don't
but
care
Bill
about-
O'Brien and Tom Brady went at it
So-
on the
They did.
sidelines routinely.
I understand, and Sirianni players were yelling at Sirianni this year. Like and he yelled.
I'd have
back.
yelled at him too.
Right, and I'm not talking about arguments on the field. I'm perfectly fine with that kind of thing stuff. But to charge him and make contact, it's insane. It's insane that he did that. It's not the first time he did it.
Yeah.
So like I'm not gonna go be, oh, they should release him or he should be fined or whatever. But like you can't fucking do that.
No.
It's unbelievable.
I
and
told him
then
I gotta do a
other-
better job.
Yeah, right.
yeah. And then he gets to kiss freaking Taylor Swift and
Oh,
everything's
God.
great afterwards
yeah.
and yada yada yada. And I got videos.
Was she at the
of them
game? I
fighting.
didn't notice.
Yeah. I think she made an appearance.
Yeah, well, I didn't notice because of the other dimes that were in the box she was sitting in. Holy!
Well, one of them is the Hunt daughter, the heiress to the Hunt.
Oh, is that who that
Lamar
was?
Hunt daughter.
She's hot. Oh yeah.
Well,
she's-
Blake Lively was up there at one point.
Yeah, she was up there.
One of the women that.
And then you got
Mario was
Mahomes' wife, who's going to be on the cover of a
Brittany?
swimsuit
Yeah. SI.
SI thing.
So I know you wait for that day. You have an alert on your phone for when the swimsuit issue comes out, Harry.
No, but had I had a smartphone in the 8th grade, I would have had an alert on it. That was about 8th or 9th grade was probably the year where the swimsuit kind of wore off for me and I went to bigger and better things.
Yeah, like
But in the early
Club
days,
and Wii.
yeah, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, that was like porn for me. You know,
Oh, no,
like
the
the Cheryl
swimsuit issue
Teagues one with the see-through the mesh.
Yeah,
Oh.
you would have at least 2 or 3 models that might as well have had no shirt on. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
pretty much see everything.
Right.
But when you're in 9th grade, and I remember I worked at the library,
Oh.
and they actually had the swimsuit issue, and the librarian was like, "You're not allowed to put this out on display," and I'm like, "All right."
I'm gonna
John-
check this out. Don't expect it back.
John's back in the National Geographic wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Geographic used to show titties back in the day.
Yes.
They weren't normally great looking titties, but
No,
they were
but
titties nevertheless.
Hey, any port in a storm.
Yeah, I looked at them.
I know Harry would have a problem with Mahomes is like, I'm making $1 gajillion.
Uh-huh.
I'm this huge star. You do not need to be in some magazine.
Yeah.
Do not embarrass me.
Well, she's not going to embarrass her. I saw some of the pictures. I mean, she, it looks pretty good.
It's
I
tasteful.
just don't want to hear her talk.
No.
She's annoying.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But I can look at her.
all of them. All of them. Come on, give me a break. All of them are. Right? Like I'm so happy that this whole run is over because
Yeah.
now they're gonna have to survive the off season
Right.
and be back together. And what are the odds on that they're still back together come fall next year? Good.
That's interesting. I don't know. I mean,
Because honestly, how much time are they really spending together, other than when she comes in for a day or two? She's
right. I
on
think she
freaking
got in a
world
jet and
tour.
flew to Japan, like probably right after the game anyway, to continue her tour.
No.
I think. Right.
No, of course she did. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that like try spending more than a day at a time with her and
Right,
find
that's
out how much
easy.
you're really in love.
That's
yeah.
easy.
What they're doing
Yeah.
right now, they're getting drunk and having sex.
Right.
And then
right.
she's flying back to Brazil or Tokyo. Yeah, I
And
can
Exactly.
live with like 10
And they're good
different
PR for each other.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I could have a relationship with anybody if I only had to spend 2 days a month with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite ex-girlfriend lived in Virginia, Northern Virginia. I saw her.
Oh, yeah.
I saw her like every other week.
I had a lot of long distance relationships when I was young. Those were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? But well, there you go. And just
My
so you
wife
know,
would like to add that into our relationship.
Yeah.
From distance.
Well, I wouldn't mind. I'm currently in a fight with. By the way, there's the baby monitor.
Oh wow.
I'm currently in a fight with my wife.
Oh
We've
boy.
been at odds the last 2 days. Yeah, lots
No.
of shit.
So you let that linger? You don't just immediately. I see. I won't. I have to have resolution quickly
Dude.
on any disagreement.
Without
Other
getting
than
into
me being an asshole.
without getting into the details, which clearly I'm right and she's wrong. I woke up this morning with I always wake up with a positive attitude because you know what? Who gives a shit what happened yesterday? Because it doesn't really matter. And gave her a kiss, said good morning, and I could just tell right away, like, this isn't working out. I don't know if this is hormonal, probably, or it's just whatever. So yeah, I just knew it wasn't working out today, and that's how it's at 1:24 here as we're live.
So you let it fester. You don't go, what's the issue?
Well, I know
Nothing.
what
She
but-
says nothing. You go, look, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot.
I know it's not nothing.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't say nothing.
Oh.
No, there's an issue. No, believe me, there's an issue.
Let's get her on the show, but let's bring this to a head right now. We'll have a little council
So
session.
I tried to book her for Wife Talk Wednesday because during the pandemic we did a Wife Talk segment.
You have got to get a job.
And
Wife
she
talk.
wouldn't-
Did you
Wednesday.
really?
She wouldn't do it. What?
You did it during the pandemic
Yeah, but I also did it on the air.
on the radio.
I would do a segment Wife Talk
Oh
I mean-
wow.
where
He's got
I
his
did it-
wife on.
I got she actually called in for an episode of Wife Talk because after getting Nick Foles tattooed on my back, I told Bryce Harper in spring training that I would get him tattooed on my back if they won the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year that they were in the World Series and they were up 2-1. And
Right.
I was faced with divorce or staying true to my word. But I broke the news to her that I did that on the air for Wife Talk.
Okay.
In front of the radio audience when she found out that I told Bryce Harper
Anything
that.
for a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't think they were going to make the World Series, though.
As soon as the significant others in our lives realize that what happens on the air is the most important thing,
Right.
everything's a little bit better.
No, agree. Yeah, like everything's a bit. That's what's like people that do like you're saying, people that don't do this don't realize it's like all we're looking for is our next bit or our next thing to talk about.
Right.
And then it's like pretty much gone.
Everything's
and then it's the next
content.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my wife will say stuff like that to me. She goes, and this is not for the radio, or this is not for your
Right.
YouTube. Like she prefaces what she's about to say with that because she knows, like, I'm just going to log it and then it's going to come out at some point.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. So I tell her that. If you don't want something said on the air,
Then
then
don't say it.
Just assume that anything that you say to me, for the most part, is able to be repeated.
Right.
I do have some type of a filter. I'm gonna
I always
total
told
it.
my wife, like, you knew what you were getting into. I was already in radio when we met.
Me too.
Right.
I'm not pulling this one on you.
She
Like,
got
okay.
with you because you were in radio. You were
Mhm.
a big star.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like we always say
Agreed.
with women too. Like everybody's got baggage.
Yeah.
You can't sneak an extra bag on the plane.
Right.
You got okay. I accept this level of bags.
Right.
Anything else, you got to check, and we're gonna lose the luggage. I don't need any. Don't sneak a bag on the relationship plane here.
Right.
A bag.
I don't want to find out about a new one a couple years in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think Johnny Mark's wife's going to feel about him saying my favorite ex-girlfriend lived in Virginia? You got a
Right.
list? You got a favorite ex?
Well, she was my last ex-girlfriend before I met my wife, and it was a number of years before that. It was actually right when I started working with Miss and Ellie.
Oh,
when
okay.
when I ended it with her, because she wanted to move to Philly. She was she worked for one of the big consulting firms. So 4 days a week she would be wherever, and then she would fly back to wherever she lived for 3 days. So she didn't work out of a she worked out of a home office or wherever she traveled to. So she wanted to move to Philly, and I was like, yeah, I'm really not interested in you moving to Philly. She's like, we don't have to live together. I'm like, yeah, I'm really not interested in you moving to Philly. And I was like, all right, looks like I'm gonna have to break up with her. Now, like a year, and I remember when it was. When the Eagles signed Michael Vick was the next time I contacted her because she had some connection with Tony Dungy, right? Like she knew Tony Dungy's, her cousin was friends
Anything
with
for
Tony
a
Dungy or
bit. You're
something.
trying to get Mike
Yeah.
a
Right.
guest. You're trying
So-
to get Mike a guest.
So I emailed her, but the problem was I searched my email and I actually just like replied to an email where we were just breaking up and she was very upset. So it was like the email after I'm like, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
like,
get me
hey,
Tony
do
Dungy.
you think you can get me Tony Dungy?
By the way, there's no way you're moving to Philadelphia. We're breaking up, but can you get me Tony Dungy?
Yeah.
It was like a year later.
One more on the way out the door.
Yeah.
Right. It was like a year later. So, I mean, but at the time, I would have just sent her a fresh email. I wouldn't have replied to, the chain of emails.
Yeah.
Chain
She
of
was like, you
emails.
son of a bitch. I hate you.
You breaking up
I
with
thought-
a girl over email,
Right. You told me you love me.
over your AOL.
How did you meet this broad anyway?
MySpace.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I never had a MySpace.
Okay.
I know you're shocked by that.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I have MySpace. It's right here in the home studio.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. You basically live down there.
That's exactly right, Har.
Yeah. Like
It's
you
my apartment.
basically live. This is my point. You're basically living separate from your wife in the same house.
Yeah, I have an apartment within the house, within the
Yeah.
as they say, within the domicile.
Mm.
Yeah. Booking guests for Mikey Miss was always fun.
Right. Get me Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Mike, I've texted Tony Dungy 1,000 times. He hasn't responded back once. I've called Tony Dungy 1,000 times. He hasn't.
And then his
hasn't
response
gotten
be,
back to
so
me
what
once."
time's he coming on?
Right. So that led me to contact an ex-girlfriend who had a connection with
Yeah.
with Tony Dungy.
I remember we had a guest on one time. I think it was, I forget who it was, but Mike was combative with him and like interrogated him right away. And as soon as they called, as soon as he let the guest go, I go, well, that's another one added to the list. He goes, what list? I go, the guys that'll never come on with you again. Like you could like a
big
little
list.
pleasantry in the beginning, like "Hi, how you doing?"
Right.
No, it's
right.
"Why did you?" Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think
Right.
it might have been when we had Kerry Williams on in the sconces.
Oh yeah, Sconcegate.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
remember that. Oh yeah,
Uh.
for sure. Yeah, Mike's had a number of those. Skip Bayless.
yeah. Lose my number, guys. They text you when it's over and say "lose my number."
Were you producing when he had Donald Trump lost the celebrity calling contest, the P Diddy?
I was
used to-
not then. I think that was Sean.
Was that Sean really?
Yeah.
You believe that, Mike? How ironic! Mike had Donald Trump on his celebrity call-in show for the Eagles season tickets because
Yeah.
his assistant wanted it. He kept them on. I don't know if you remember the interview. He kept them on forever. Trump wanted off after like 5 minutes. Mike had him on for like 15 minutes. Trump wanted nothing to do with it, and then Trump didn't even win. The girl didn't even win that got Trump to call in. P. Diddy.
And where's P Diddy now?
Uh,
You don't hear about P Diddy anymore. Surprised he didn't turn up in a Super Bowl commercial.
Last I heard about P. Diddy was in that Cat Williams thing a couple weeks ago when he was on with Shannon Sharp. He was talking about
Oh,
P.
that's
Diddy.
right.
Yeah.
I met
Look
P
at
Diddy
you.
out at the MTV Movie Awards. He's like 5'5".
Yeah.
I was like, you're just a little shit.
Did he
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, he's tiny.
Is he? Well, I mean, I didn't think he was 6'2" or anything, but
Yeah.
Yeah, little guy.
Oh,
Ciroc vodka. That's his.
Is that
him?
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Harrison expert in all things vodka.
Yeah.
All right, by the way, speaking of my wife, shopeverylittle.detail.com for custom-made shirts of all types, including athletic shirts and things like that, Jason. So if you're looking for something custom-made, you want to just have an idea of what you want, she'll design it for you. AI a lot of times designs it for her.
How about
gives
an
her an
Odd
idea what to
G's
do.
podcast shirt would be a nice item.
Odd G's podcast we can work on. Also, Herb from Northeast Philly. People are asking for a Herb shirt,
Jeez.
just his face, perhaps on it. So anyway,
I'll take a quick pass on the Herb from the Northeast shirt.
you don't want that?
Yeah, I'm good. I got the Red Bull Racing shirt under there.
Oh,
that's cool.
yeah.
Max Verstappen shirt.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Shopeverylittle.com for real. She got on the website bunch of shirts that are already there. Valentine's Day is just around the corner, but she's been working around the clock to fulfill all of her Valentine's Day orders.
Valentine's Day is what, Wednesday?
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, I went in the Wegmans on Saturday, and it looked like I was offended at how much Valentine's Day stuff they had as soon as you walk in the store.
A Hallmark store.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, dude, they like flowers for the country.
Mm.
Like, thousands of flowers and everything for Valentine's Day. So
Love
we
Wegmans.
don't celebrate Valentine's Day
yeah,
in our house.
I am
don't
not
know if I'm
No.
shocked.
celebrating
Well, I got
this.
married, my first wife, on Valentine's Day in Vegas.
Wow.
Sounds like the recipe for a pretty quick divorce, Harry.
It was great.
Did an Elvis marry you, Har?
No, but the guy actually looked like he might have been like a manager for a wrestler in the WWE.
Wow.
Like, he was
Like he managed Bret the Hitman Hart or
like
something
a
like
character looking like guy.
Uh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, there you go. All
we
right,
we got Super Bowl odds for next year, by the way. Our friend Jimmy Shapiro just sent
saw
those.
that.
What are the Eagles? 17-1?
18-1.
18-1.
It's actually a great segue to what I was gonna say because and it's interesting that it all comes out the morning of the Super Bowl. So that obviously is put out there because there's a lot of eyes on what's going on in the NFL, and Haason Reddick has been granted permission to seek
A
trade.
Yeah.
Which means
James
you're out of here.
James Bradbury also, and like good luck with that, right? I don't know how many teams are going to come screaming and yelling for James Bradbury. But as far as Reddick, and I'm not surprised because he wasn't happy with his contract last year, and he had another great year.
Mhm.
So, yeah, he wants a new contract. He wants to be paid more. And the Eagles obviously aren't willing to give him what exactly they're looking for.
Well, they don't want to give that position anything.
So, I mean, they prioritize the defensive line and the offensive line.
Mhm.
And the offensive line, I was led to believe, was the best offensive line in football going into the year last year. And then by the end of the year, I don't think anybody was saying they were the best offensive line. Now, Jason Kelsey, I believe, is likely or is going to retire. So they may have a need for one more offensive lineman on there. But, like, rush was always such a big deal. And if you get rid of Haason Reddick, so here's my question to you two. Are the Eagles signaling that this is a reboot year? Because I know Howie wants to, and this is really kind of his MO and where he's at his best, is reshuffling a team and having them competitive pretty much right away. he doesn't take a step back for a year or two. He just goes in and he replaces the players that need to be replaced with other veterans or whatever. And that's the reason why they fizzle out as quick as they do. They're not built like the Chiefs or like the Niners, where they have a core and they're going, who's the Eagles' core right now? On defense, at least. Right? The young Georgia guys? I don't know what the hell they are.
Yeah, the young linemen.
Yeah, awesome. All right, like Jalen Carter's going to be good. Jordan Davis, Baldy at the end of the year was saying he was too out of shape. He shouldn't even been playing. The other rookie from Georgia, he didn't do anything last year, really.
No.
So it's like, what do you think is in their head? Because if you think that you were still a team this year that can win a Super Bowl, then isn't your best defensive player really important? Unless you're saying he's already on the downside and we don't want to give him edge rushers are making $25 million a year now. We don't want to give him $100 million guaranteed like he's probably asking for. What are the Eagles telling us about what they think about their chances going forward? Start with you, Jason.
I think that he thinks he can replace him at a cheaper cost. He's evaluating what may be available and knows that I can't pay this dude that kind of dough and tie my hands. Because Howie's a cap guy, right? Like he knows where he's got to make a hard decision. I don't think they're into taking steps back because I don't think they're an organization that ever wants to take a step back. Every big name that's out there is always associated with the Eagles. They always shop on the top shelf. Yeah. So I don't think that they're going to try and take a step back. I think he's going to try and recoil right away next year. Plus, if you bring the head coach back, if you change coaches, it would be more feasible to maybe take a step back and rebuild a little bit, a very short rebuild, because you can do that in the NFL. But bringing Sirianni back, if you go out there, if he goes out and has a season lesser than what he just had,
Sirianni's
cooked.
He's fired. Yeah,
he's fired, right.
Cooked.
His ass is on the line.
So Jason, I'll tell you to where you're probably right, but part of me also feels like they know that and they don't care. He's just a sacrificial lamb for this year. He's there.
Then that's malpractice by then.
Yeah.
You already know that's not the guy. If you identify a guy is not the guy, you got to move on.
Especially with who was available.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean,
you got to say if not him, who?
Right.
But there were guys available.
Would you be surprised if Belichick, if they win, they go 9-8 this year and they lose, but they still feel like this is a roster that should be better. It's just not being coached very well. I wouldn't be surprised if they went short-term Belichick.
They're not a Belichick type team. They hire first-time head coaches because they want them to be subservient. On the last time they hired a guy that had more power than the general manager got stuffed in the jockstrap closet. That's never happening again.
Agreed. Yeah. But Belichick also can come in, and I'm not telling you I think that they're going to hire Belichick. I'm just making the case for sometimes. I mean, this organization has shown a willingness to adapt and change. So all else being equal, I think they'd like to hire a younger head coach and have that guy as your head coach for 10 or 15 years. Or they could look at this roster and say, hey, we think we can win right now. We got to get the best coach that can win right now. But anyway.
I don't think that happened. Look, Jeff Lurie hired Ray Rhodes, Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, and then Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
All
first times. First time NFL head coaches.
Yep. Harry, what do you think?
I don't think this is a reboot year. I think the Eagles are in the, we still think we're a deep run playoff team. We need some tweaks. They're going to need some more edge rushing. And it's funny because that's what Haason Reddick does. But Haason Reddick turns 30 this year. And that's that magic number where I don't think they want to reinvest in him, even though I still think he's probably got 2 or 3 good years left in him. But they need more help at cornerback. They always seem to. I think that might be where they go in the draft in the first round. And they know they're going to have to get possibly another lineman because if Kelsey does retire, they move over the kid they drafted. I forget his name. Jurgens to center. They're going to need a guard. That'll be like a 3rd round pick. There's other things that they need to work on, that they need to allocate money towards. And I think Haason Reddick is just sort of one of those guys that plays a position that they will allow to fall through the cracks.
Andy was the 30 number for Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Remember all the guys he moved on from as they were getting right at 30?
It was Banner.
But they've changed it. They've changed that. But to your point, Jason, they allowed Haason Reddick to seek a trade, find a trade partner, and they haven't extended him.
Right.
They feel like they're going to get the best out of Haason Reddick in this current contract, and rather than give him a new contract, which injury could happen, him going downhill could happen. But I also look at this defense and say, like, okay, like if this isn't a reboot year, or this isn't a you don't think that you're a true Super Bowl contender. I mean, who's on their defense? Is Slay coming back? If he is, like, all right, listen, like I don't like Slay.
No, not
right.
anymore. I
me.
did.
I don't like Slay. When he was a really good player, and I think he's still like a decent player. His mouth's too big for his play right now.
Yeah, he needs to chill out with the social media.
And he's a captain. He's supposed to be this leader. He has none of these things, right? So Slay, if Slay's back, that's a problem. Bradbury, if he's back's a problem. I hope he's not back.
No, they're going to need to fill that spot.
Right, and you said about the first round draft pick, Harry.
Yeah,
they were sniffing around about Surtain last year. At the trade deadline, and Johnson from Chicago, the Bears, because he's a free agent. He's going to make a ton of money. I wonder if they don't trade a first-round draft pick like they did with A.J. Brown for a corner.
Oh, wow.
They have not drafted a corner. When's the last good cornerback they drafted?
Sheldon Brown.
Well, so Jalen Mills was a seventh-round draft pick, and that was only because of off-the-field stuff. But still, that's a flyer. Yeah. They can't evaluate these young corners, so they're scared to draft them. That's why you don't get them getting high draft picks. So unless one falls in their lap, you wonder what they're going to do. Because they got to pick. Guess what? They have to now pay another wide receiver. If AJ Brown's going to be around, they got to pay. They got to pay Devontae Smith.
Yep.
You got to pay him $20 million a year or something like that. And you don't have any linebackers. And Sidney Brown looked like he had real promise. He tears his ACL right at the end of the season.
That was a shame, man, because he was.
He would look great. I like Blankenship, but he's a decent starter. So what the hell you have on this defense? They have a lot of work they have to do. Now, Howie's shown that he can do this, but a lot of times he does it with mercenaries and decent contracts. And this is why you flame out after a year or two, is because it can't be sustained success.
It's the known commodity versus the unknown of a draft pick at a very critical position in the NFL today. So, yeah, I think that. I don't see them rebuilding. I think they are going to push everything all in again and figure out the cap ramifications later.
Well, they do have a lot of cap. I mean, they have a decent amount of cap money, and all they do is signing bonus here, roster bonus here.
They'll extend a guy that they like.
Yeah.
Before his first year deal. That's what they typically do, which is smart, actually.
Yeah, they try to.
Maybe Deebo Samuel can hang out with Fletcher Cox. Do you see the thing that Fletcher Cox put out?
No.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox was rubbing it in that they lost after the Eagles totally flamed out and had a historic collapse.
Oh, really?
On his Instagram, he put, I still got something you ain't got to Deebo Samuel. Then he said, yeah, I've been holding this one in, son. EAD. Eat a dick.
Deebo got under their skin for sure. He gave him the clown emoji, too, which is never a nice thing.
Deebo didn't do much last night. They couldn't get him the ball.
Yeah,
they targeted him a bunch of times. I think he only had 3 catches.
Yep.
What are the 49er fans whining about today? The San Francisco 40 whiners.
It was
they're probably yelling
rule?
at Shanahan because of what he did with the overtime. Probably.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No, they won't blame anybody within their own organization. They'll blame everybody else.
Oh, yeah?
That's the 40 whiners way.
Well, McCaffrey only touching the ball 3 times in the third quarter, I think, was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was a preferred outcome that Andy Reid won another one. But I mean, you look at what he's done since he left Philadelphia, and I remember, and I remember Baldy saying it, that he was wondering if the NFL had passed Andy by when he was leaving the Eagles. And he had went through a lot of personal stuff. Obviously, his son dying at training camp, but he was going through a lot of family stuff.
That's what Mahomes will do for you. All of a sudden, you get in touch with the game again.
No, agreed. But he's not making the same boneheaded. And you would figure he'd learn after 25 years or however long he's been doing it. But even yesterday, he's been winning the close games, and they've been coming back. Now, like you said, Mahomes almost makes you Andy-proof.
Yeah.
With some of that stuff. But I thought the last play of the game was a great play call.
To McCole Hardman. Yeah.
Yeah, the sneak on Mahomes, a couple of the sneaks where he went, that's 1 4th and 1. There were a couple spots in that game where if they don't convert, on offense or defense, game's over.
Oh yeah, they were 9 for 19 on third down. That's pretty darn good.
Wow. So
Yeah.
Andy has went from being where some people were wondering if the game was passing him by, and I remember the debate of, he should take a year off. What are you doing, Andy? Like, take a year off. Go be with your family. Like recuperate.
Yeah, that's why I laugh at the people that thought he'd retire.
Yeah, me too.
Last
Me too.
night. Are you kidding me?
My
You're going to
ass.
retire with that quarterback in his prime? Like, you can win 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But what's he going to do?
He empowers
Right.
his coordinators and assistants too.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get in Spags' way.
No.
Like you got the defense,
Mm-hmm.
and Spags he doesn't bog himself down with all the bullshit.
Wasn't it Bob Sutton before that?
Yeah, Bob Sutton,
Sutton
ran a 3, because Spags is more of a 4-3 guy. I know that the 3-4 and 4-3 are like almost the same now, but Bob Sutton was a hardcore 4-3-4 guy. I mean, Andy went in, he got the general manager whacked.
Mm-hmm.
He took over within a year or two. He was like, "Yeah, you're out of here. I'm
grabbed all the control in the hand."
Was it Pioli?
No,
Scott
it was
Pioli?
Because now it's Veach.
Yeah, Brett Veach, who is his handpicked guy. So
Yeah.
when they talk about he's doing this and he's doing that, this is all under the Andy Reid umbrella.
Yeah.
No, he was a consultant with the Eagles, actually.
I'm not
They-
sure.
they
Donahoe?
No,
Tom
he's-
Donahoe.
No, it was,
He was a consultant with the Eagles, wasn't he?
He was. Now,
Yeah.
maybe somebody in the comments here has. I'd say I don't think it was Scott Pioli.
It doesn't matter.
No, whatever. But people are requesting that anytime you bring up Spags, you have to do it in the Cousins voice, Jason. So
Well, me and Spags had coffee. The whole thing. Over here. He loves Spags, doesn't he?
he had him on. He had him on his show, his podcast
He
late
did?
last week. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Thursday
good.
Wednesday, Thursday last week.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest. That was one of the funniest fake promos that you did. Was the Gags and Spags show? If you ran those promos, you had the voice guy do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? It's Spags
Gags?
and Gags. That's
Mornings
right.
with Gags and Spags.
Right, exactly.
I don't
That was-
remember that.
You
No,
don't?
Yeah, I had-
I think Nahigian got pissed off about it.
he did. I had Cutler voice, and I put together 5 promos where it sounded real. So we would have like, it's Gags and
Yeah.
Spags, and then I would get like 15 seconds of Anthony talking about Spags or talking or whatever.
Beautiful.
I had Cutler do Joe DeCamara's name over and over again in different inflections, like Joe DeCamara. And
I
all
remember
like,
that one.
Remember that
Joe
one?
DeCamara.
I'd play those at night, and Nahigian told me to stop doing it.
I bet he did.
He was annoyed.
Better look out. Nahigian might be watching this.
Oh, he
Last time
probably
I was
is.
on here talking about him, he was watching it.
No, he's making sure his hosts don't freaking jump off the Golden Gate Bridge today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's not watching this.
Yeah.
He's in San Francisco now.
I
anyway-
got real issues out here. Everybody's depressed.
Yeah, what's going on? I don't understand. Oh no, he must be so. I have to remember who this GM is. John Dorsey.
Tom Hecker.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Scott Pioli was through 2012. They brought in John Dorsey,
Mm.
and John Dorsey was gone in 2016. So maybe
Wasn't he with the Packers, Dorsey, at one point?
He was with the Browns.
the
I know
Browns.
that.
That's right.
he was with
Yeah.
the Browns.
Yeah. Good call, Harry.
yeah. Because so anyway, so Pioli was there because Andy he was with the Eagles through 2012, right? That was his last year.
Correct.
Yeah, so I guess they hired Pioli and then they hired Andy, and then that was a very short. No, Pioli was done. All right. So anyway, yeah. Well, listen, Andy Reid, because I had this last night from a bunch of people at the party. They're like, because I'm supposed to have the answers for everything, like every statistical thing. Like, so John, what is the team that scores first? What percentage of those teams win? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, Google it. They're
Yeah,
like, well, don't you need to know that for your job? And I'm like, no, I have to
No.
fucking know that for my
No.
job. What are you talking about? So I Googled it, and I'm like, yeah, it's 67%. All right, like, yeah, I use Google. Like, no, like, what do you think? What do you think I'm doing? Reading stats for 4 hours for the last 20 years? I don't know any of this shit. I don't
I'm
care
Googling
about
it
that.
while I'm on the air.
Right. Exactly. So that's what I was getting last night. I was Google for all the non-football people that are like, oh yeah, he worked in sports radio. He knows all this
Yeah.
stuff. Meanwhile, I don't even want these people to talk to me.
Yeah,
That was
they
nice.
think that's the job of sports
Why am I
radio.
here?
It was nice because some of them actually watched the show and they'll be thinking, like,
Oh,
what
now
an
you're
asshole.
ripping them.
Right. No,
Yeah.
No, but anyway. Well, listen, Jason.
Why don't we get into the hockey minute? What the hell?
Right now, that's what I was
going
already-
season was over.
We already did it.
Is that right? Talking about
Yeah,
Bieber?
we
When
led
talked
with
about
it, yes.
Bieber and
Yes,
Usher on skates.
Well, no, before you came on, I said, Harry, I know people want to talk about the Super Bowl, but I got to talk about the Flyers because they have a big game tonight, right?
They do have a game tonight.
Oh, they got the Coyote in town tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means you're wrapping up the show here and headed down to the Wells
barn.
Fargo Center?
Yeah, I got to go down to the barn tonight and
Going through the
third of
players'
15
entrance?
homestand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, you're not a player.
Jeez.
Oh, here's somebody with this. When you called acting like Joe DeCamera to a Chinese food restaurant?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah.
I'd like the low main. She goes, what kind of low main? I go, what do you suggest?
No, I remember it. Like you guys said earlier, the bits are we're just in
Anything
search of
for a
our next bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
totally off the cuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious. I couldn't hold it together in the call. I lost it at one point.
It was like with Bernie.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
We used to harass poor Bernie. But rest in peace, Bernie from Broomall.
Wow.
Me and Harry did a 2.5 minute call with Bernie where he was talking to himself. We were
Oh.
just
I
playing
remember it.
drops.
That's hilarious.
I remember it. I was
Who are
actually
you? Who are you? I'm Bernie
Huh?
from Broomall. Huh?
Yeah, we broke a lot of FCC laws and rules back then without advising him. He was
Yeah. You're being taped.
videoed
Yeah.
or taped or on the air.
I remember I called him as Eddie Vedder one time. I was the guy from the FCC because he cursed on Phil from Mount Airy show on the weekend.
Oh my
I had him
god.
convinced he was getting fined by the FCC. I told him this was no yellow Ledbetter incident. He has no idea what Eddie Vedder was.
You're such an idiot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Oh,
I
it's
do
so
remember
funny.
that now.
I said it's kind of like even flow. I was just dropping Pearl Jams.
You do that with hockey terms too.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had you do that with hockey terms too
Yeah.
as well. All right.
All
There
right.
you go.
Stadium series on Saturday.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Cares.
MetLife Stadium, Harry. Another outdoor game.
The Flyers?
Yeah, Flyers Devils.
Oh,
I'll be there at the MetLife for practice on Friday.
Haven't the Flyers won 3 in a row since the break?
Yeah,
All against pretty good teams,
yeah. They beat Florida, top 5 team.
Yeah.
Beat the Peg,
right?
and then they won their last game against Seattle. And then tonight they got the Coyotes, and Thursday it's Toronto, and then Saturday you'll be the Devils.
Wow.
oh,
Can't
man,
wait.
that's.
I was with Torch this morning.
What do you have to say?
I asked him about the Kelsey thing. He said it's a good thing they won the game. That's what he said.
Imagine somebody doing that to him.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
guys that
actually,
want
I
to strangle
can.
him. I can tell you that at times.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
All right. Well, so guys, you just did a podcast on Friday.
Yeah.
yeah. Expect another one in about 4 to 6 weeks.
Another couple weeks. Yeah.
Another couple of weeks. All
Yeah, we're on a off-season schedule.
Right.
right. Well, listen, Mike. Now is that someone saying that's a Mike Kern, not an Anthony Gargano that you're doing?
Oh, the Saturday. Yeah. That's,
Anthony's way different than Kern. Kern is Kern.
No,
is
you're right.
Saturday.
But I've heard Kern. Did he do radio a long time ago on WIP, like part time?
Yeah,
I
with
I
Rob
remember,
Cherry. Rob.
Not.
Yeah,
I remember tuning in and be like, "What's Anthony doing working Saturdays?" And it's like,
Yeah.
"No, that's not Anthony. Who is that?"
yeah. They just both have a really thick Philadelphia accent,
Right.
but it's way different. Kern's got more of a Fishtown kind of
Mhm.
Saturday. I don't know. But and then Anthony, the whole thing, and me and Joe Ben, boo,
Jimmy Head.
yeah, that's exactly right.
All right.
He didn't appreciate. I don't think he appreciated your
Oh no.
He
doesn't.
loved it.
yes.
your cuz.
No, he doesn't.
I
Yeah.
called it an homage.
No. Yeah, you did.
He
He
called
didn't.
it insulting. There was the one time when I was on with Mike. Like
Well,
Mike was in-
that's when he a couple times you were towing the line on content. With
yeah.
Paul's voice.
Mike was like just having a miserable day one time, and that's when I did.
They
the
call me
El-
the Bo.
Yeah, the El King
Oh, so
karaoke
good.
right off the cuff. I just played the YouTube song.
And had me a boy, turned into a man. Told him all the things that he couldn't understand. Whoa, yo, Mikey Miss. They call me the bow.
Mike's dying, and I see the hotline ringing. It's Anthony. I pick it up. I go, "Hello." I go Fanatic Studio, and he goes,
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
"Hey, hung up."
Oh,
He was
cuz the
not
best.
pleased.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
well, guys, thanks for this was short notice jumping on
Yeah.
with us to discuss all these fine issues. And
Hey, get some fucking graphics on here. I mean, Jesus.
so now, I mean, everybody's got a comment on it. I have people texting me being like, it's some really good ideas for simple design and blah, blah. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do something with it. I don't have anywhere to put it, though. What am I going to do with it? Where am I going to put it? I literally don't have anywhere to go.
No, I'm talking about on the on-screen graphics. This is way too
Well,
sanitary.
I mean, listen, I have a logo. I just didn't get to load it in here, and then I have to. What graphic does Harry have? It's stupid. It's not even big enough for the screen.
right. I thought this was a half hour. Now we're looking at an
Well,
hour.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm
get
trying to get
going.
you guys out.
We're in overtime, Harry. It's 3 on
All right.
3.
It's when do you want to do more, Myrtetus?
Yeah, it's
I know.
him.
It's outrageous.
Jesus.
All right, guys.
I just spilled my bucket. Now I got
Yeah.
nothing for pregame tonight.
Good.
All right, good. I'll tune in for it. All right. All right, guys. All right, later. Everybody. Yeah, beat it. There goes Myrtetus. He's out. All right, everybody. See you. Remember, subscribe at John Marks Media. That's YouTube. Got a ton of subscribers. It's been great. We're trying to do this every night at 9:00. There's just some nights where I can't do it at 9. If it was a paying job, I'd be doing it every night at 9. But right now it's not. So I tried to do this today. So then the people that like to listen at 9:00 can just watch this from earlier. And also shopeverylittledetail.com for custom made shirts of all type. There's a lot of stuff that's already on the website. If you have something in mind that she's doing, it's my wife's business. She's doing a lot of work with she got all like the cheerleading team in my town. Like everybody got all this cheerleading stuff made by him, and then like all these other teams wanted it, and all these other teams. So she really she'll make stuff from scratch. She'll make a design from scratch for small businesses. She's making stuff. So, but check out the website. She's got sports apparel on there as well. ShopEveryLittleDetail.com. We will be back tomorrow night at 9:00. If you're watching this live, talk to you then. See ya.